Okay, this is my 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan. I'm going to show you a few of the accessories that I've fitted to it. Over the last few months I've done a fair few accessories. As you can see, it's come with the factory panniers, the Royal Enfield panniers, which are aluminium, very good quality, detachable, and on some very sturdy racks. Part of the pannier system is also a tail light and blinker relocation. It would have been underneath here. As you can see, I've made my own blinkers, tail light, and an ammo box mounted where the original tail light was. So that's one of the first modifications I did, because I installed the Barkbusters LED indicators and had the idea to install the same Barkbusters LED indicators on the rear with a few modifications and with my own custom mounts. So Barkbusters was the first thing that I installed on the bike, and the LEDs. Moving along from that, the next thing, which you should be able to see underneath here, is the YSS suspension, the YSS shock, and the YSS fork kit, which comprises of a spring and a preload adjuster and a cartridge emulator valve that goes in there. So the forks requires a full fork service to have that done. The next thing I did was install the SRC components, which are a master cylinder guard, a reservoir guard, crash bars, pipe guard, headlight guard, oil cooler guard, and a GPS bar, mounting bar, where I've got the GPS and the phone mounted. Also have the SRC tank mounts, which I don't have the tanks on there, but they're a 3-litre tank. The other modifications that have been done to the bike are Oxford heated grips and steady 10 watt and 5 watt spotlights, which the 5 watts are basically just fill-in spotlights for daytime running. The 10 watt LEDs are to enhance the high beam. So part of installing the electronics, I installed a JCar 6-way fuse box. Has a connection to the battery for both positive and negative. Has a negative bus bar, and then 6 outlets which are fused. A relay for the spotlights, which I've connected to a SW Motec Evo high beam switch, and for the daytime running lights I've got the SW Motec Evo fog light switch. I've also done the ABS jumper so that I can turn the ABS off for extreme off-road riding, and installed a switch on the dash on the handlebar here to enable me to turn off the ABS at will, without going through the procedure of turning on the ignition and holding the ABS button down, which is required to disconnect the rear ABS only. I think that's covered all of them. Oh, I didn't show the rack. When I put this back together again, this is the camping rack, which converts, it sits on the pillion seat and converts into a camping rack. This Velcro just stops it rattling around, allows you to use it as a pot stand. You could even put it over a fire and cook using it to hold the stove, the pot off the flames. And then that goes back on the seat. like that. And then allows you to run something across from the panniers and not damage your seat. The other neat little rack made by the same person is the front rack, front stand here, which comes off and is used to put into the bash plate to lift the front wheel off the ground to change the wheel. Otherwise, when you've got it on the center stand, you can get access to change your rear tyre, but without someone holding the rear down, it's very hard to change the front tyre without laying the bike down or jamming something underneath it, which sometimes isn't possible on the bush. Another modification that I've done is I've added 25mm spacers to lift the fork brace, and I've deleted the mud guard. I've also deleted the gaiters on the forks. The reason for that is I want to monitor the fork travel after putting in the YSS fork kit, and I've put an O-ring, which is off a KTM air filter, funnily enough, the right diameter to use as a telltale to see how much travel I'm using. Another modification that's been done is the Mitas E07 enduro tyres, which are both front and rear, much more heavy duty, more distance between the lugs to allow mud to escape and so forth when you're riding off-road. And the ammo box, which I said is mounted where the tail light was, contains a first aid kit, some PPE equipment, and a little stand puck that you use on soft ground to put underneath your stand, which I keep in there, and then I transfer it to my tank bag for use in the bush, and then the string on it so I can just pick it up. So basically that's all of the accessories that are on the bike at the moment. Have a few more things planned which are more performance orientated, which won't be done for a while yet till the vehicle, till the bike is more run in and potentially out of warranty. So there you go, that's all of the parts that have been fitted to this bike.